Tens of thousands of New Zealanders living in Australia could soon start paying a levy to fund a new disability services scheme they won't benefit from. Prime Minister Julia Gillard says the plan won't be introduced until after the September election. Australia correspondent Steve Marshall explains.
Aucklander Nicola Butler has been working as a Sydney architect for the past 6 years. Soon she could pay more than $500 a year to help fund a new scheme to care for people with disabilities. A scheme she wouldn't benefit from because she's a New Zealander.
I feel like they just don't care about us. They take our tax money, but they don't care about what happens to us.
Butler arrived in Australia 5 years after the Australian government restricted New Zealanders' access to benefits and services here. The disability scheme's the latest benefit that's off limits to expat New Zealanders who pay hundreds of millions of tax dollars in Australia each year.
Blatantly discriminatory. Very clearly, there's no denying it. New Zealanders are now the only group that will be subject to the levy, but will not be able to reap the benefits of the disability insurance.
The disability scheme's special levy was argued by all sides of politics today, but for expat New Zealanders, it's pretty simple. Take crossing this street, for example. In the unfortunate circumstance of being hit by a bus, New Zealanders who arrived here before 2001 would receive disability services. Those who arrived after 2001 would not. Expats are calling on the New Zealand government to officially complain about their treatment here.
It's done that for apples to the WTO and was quite successful. Why it doesn't do it in this case? I mean, we're talking about systemic discrimination against women and children. It's about time John Keys stood up for us.
For 4 years, Mr Keys discussed expat rights with Ms Gillard, but Australia's response has been less than lukewarm. Steve Marshall, One News, Sydney.